What happens when two dudes, one a retired Navy SEAL commander in Colorado Springs, and the other a hippie meditation teacher in New York City, get together to discuss living mindfully? That's a great question, because we don't know what will happen either. Raw, uncut, and unapologetic. Welcome to Men Talking Mindfulness with co-hosts John McCaskill and Will Schneider. Each week, we take an authentic dive into how mindfulness continually impacts our lives, deepens our relationships, and allows us to be emotionally alive. We filter all of our conversations through the man box, where we unpack how as men we are expected to act in society, how fighting the authentic human experience is exhausting and damaging, and how mindfulness can help. If you would like to listen live, join Will and John every Friday at 12:30 Eastern Time on IG Live at handle @WillNotFear. We take each IG episode and upload them straight to this podcast. So happy you're tuning in to Men Talking Mindfulness. Now, on to the show.
There he is. Hey, John.
Hey,
Yeah,
brother.
dude, I'm getting ready.
I know, love it. Very festive, man.
I know.
Perfect.
Fun, hey,
Man,
John.
if you had let me know, man, I would have joined you with the Santa hat.
I was like, I'm up here upstate. That's where I am right now. I have a friend that I was in New York. COVID hit. He took off upstate, and then I'm ending up getting this beautiful farm, 10-acre farm with a chicken coop.
Nice.
In July, and it's like epic place to shoot photos and videos and stuff like that. So I'm here working and having some fun as well. So
Nice, dude. Good for you.
good to be with you on location. Yeah, thank you. Missed you last week, John.
Yeah, I appreciate you running with the ball last week alone. Yeah, you did a great job, man. I moved it over to the podcast just the night before last, listened to it on the drive home. You nailed it, man. Great job, as
I
always.
appreciate it.
So,
I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey,
yeah.
it's like it's good. It's nice to share this information, and just like literally, it's that whole mind shift of like living in service and how can I help other people that just it kind of brings it out of you.
For sure, man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be back with you, and this is our season finale, man.
I know I didn't say that at the top. So like, yes,
That's crazy.
This is we did 20 episodes that we record. I think we did almost 25.
Yeah.
But that are actually recorded are 20. So kudos to us, for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to wrap it up with a very important topic too. Mindfulness during the holidays. It's a time that everybody envisions all this joy and happiness, and there is plenty of that, but there's also with that pain, sadness, stress, anxiety. So I think it's an important topic that we're going to be covering today. Wrapping the season up with this, and then next season we'll be kicking it off right at the new year, January 1st. We'll be kicking off season 2. We'll probably have a lot more to talk about what we experienced over the holidays, experienced over the last few weeks of 2020. What a year it's been.
Yeah,
and then go into a new season, not only here on Instagram Live, but also the plan is anyway to have LinkedIn Live as well. So we'll be doing LinkedIn Live, Instagram Live. Then you will have Instagram TV on your account there, Will, and then we'll continue with our podcast. So this journey has definitely been fun so far, and I'm excited about the rest of the ride, man.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it too, John. And to get on another platform like LinkedIn and get more people to engage, because I think this, what we're doing and the conversation we're having is, I think it's very important. So, awesome, brother. It's fun. Thank you for being in this ride with me together. It's beautiful. And
It is.
well, we'll do our grounding breath work to start. I'll lead that.
Sounds good,
and then
man.
we'll jump in and we'll look at what joy looks like for the holiday and what gets in the way.
Let's do it.
All right, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing out there, just stop what you're doing and take a seat, or maybe you're standing in line somewhere, and find a comfortable stance or a seat and just relax your shoulders and your jaw. Maybe roll your head a little bit side to side. Let's all take a big inhale. And give a nice little cooling sigh out the mouth. Yeah. And give yourself a few more of those. Inhale really bigger breath. That's it. Exhale, let it go, 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 out, 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 out. Yeah. And a few more of those. Inhale. Great. Let that go out. Yeah. Good. And two more. Inhale. That's it. Exhale, exhale. Excellent. We'll do one more big giant breath in. Good. Exhale, let it go out. Yeah, and just sit, or whatever you're doing, just stop for a moment and just be still. Find your breath. And notice just those 4 or 5 breaths we just took. Notice the shift in your emotional experience. Keep slowing things down by gently and simply just slowing down your breath. Make a little bit bigger to create the opportunity for more relaxation, more peace. And again, and the sense of peace and relaxation, this is where joy comes from. This is where happiness comes from. Not from an agitated, anxious, or stressed out state of being, or nervousness, but being relaxed, calm, present to this moment, present to yourself. And this is the state of mind and body and moment that helps us to access that joy. That can really just has an incredible way to enhance all aspects of our lives, our relationships, our work, our self-confidence and satisfaction. So again, invite you anytime you feel a little stressed during the holiday, come back, take a couple breaths and see if you can bring that joy through. All right, we'll just close. Exhale the breath out. We'll do one, really, really, really. Let's take a big inhale all the way up. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Let's just hold that breath gently. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth again. So, all right. When you're ready, we can open those eyes. We can get on with Men Talking Mindfulness holiday style. A little bit of some joy.
Love it, man.
Yeah, me too. This is gonna be fun, John. So, I'm thinking of starting like, what brings you stress during the holidays, John? You know,
Yeah, man.
You be vulnerable and open up.
Well, I mean, right now, the holidays in general, there's definitely stress surrounding them, and what I find drives my anxiety and my stress around the holidays primarily is family. I mean, I love it's really a combination. So we kind of discussed a little bit before this what we were going to talk about specifically in regards to the holidays and stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's really two things for me from that list that we kind of went back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's family, and two, it's expectations, and those two come together. So you know, my family, my little family unit that I'm around every day is my wife and my 2 kids, and that's great. And you know, I'm happy with that unit. If that's how we celebrate Christmas, that's normally fairly relaxing, a lot of fun. You know, giving some presents to the kids.
Yeah.
But as soon as we expand past that immediate family unit and we open it up to, like, I don't know, go and hang out with my in-laws or my parents and my sisters and my brother. I mean, I love them all. It's great. But when you start getting a big group together, there's like this expectation that, hey, I'm traveling. Now I'll be traveling from Colorado to Louisiana. Let's say if I'm going to go hang out with my parents, I'm going to go to Louisiana. So my brother's going to be traveling from New York to Louisiana. One of my sisters would be traveling from Idaho. Granted, this year is completely different. COVID's throwing everything out the window, so we're not doing any major family gathering. But let's say if we were, there's an expectation. Hey, the family's coming back together. It's going to be great. And like normally within like 3 minutes of landing, getting out of the airport and into the car, there's a spike in stress. We're like, my father, God bless him, I love him to death, but you know, he's a certain way, I'm a certain way. And we start bickering like within like a couple of minutes, and nothing major, but just little things, like he says something that grinds me the wrong way or vice versa. And then you know, there's all the kids, nephews, nieces that are running around, and they have expectations of what Christmas should be like. And again, my father, he's an architect, and he designed the house that they live in. It's very awesome. It's awesome. It's a fantastic house.
I bet.
But it's he's very particular about the way people should be acting in it. And you know, when the nephews are running around, I mean, he gets stressed out, and you can feel that stress like trickling down through the family, and then that automatically doesn't meet the expectations of what the holiday season should have been. Right. And everybody starts getting a little unhappy, a little stressed, a little anxious, and before you know it, this time that we've been looking forward to coming together, we're now looking forward to the end of it, which is you know, a terrible place to be. Hey, I can't wait to be away from my family. But it's natural. I think once you start piling, you know, more than 2, 3, 4 people together, it's going to get stressful. So I think those are the pieces that I feel the most anxious about around the holidays. But I know there's a whole list, and I'm excited to go through that list with you. What about yourself, man? How do you feel?
I mean, the holidays are very interesting for me because my birthday is the 24th of December.
Oh, wow.
So, so I'm like,
my sister-in-law is on the 25th, man. On the 25th.
Man, we can have a long conversation, me and her.
Yeah. And get this, dude. Her name's Mary.
Oh,
so we always say Merry Christmas to her. You know, it's hey ha ha ha, funny joke, but I'm sure underlying she's like, you know, just shut up.
Especially like also her name's been hijacked at holidays, like the Blessed Virgin Mary. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So all those kinds of things. So so honestly, I get a little sensitive around the holidays sometimes because, you know, this is just me personally, and I've been working on this for a long time. You know, you know, my birthday is just overlooked, you know, often because it's kind of everybody's birthday around Christmas because everyone's getting gifts and feels special and stuff like that. So but like the holidays, like I have a really big family, and we have a lot of different family gatherings in different ways that we do it. And you know, I struggle some, you know, it's my mom, you know, being like kind of one of the heads of the household, you know, of our family in some ways. She, you know, takes on a lot of the burden of making everything right and making everything beautiful in the house, and trying to accommodate everybody that comes to the house, with whether it's food or whether it's just environment or but she gets really stressed and very anxious as well. And what I've noticed, and you're hearing it too, it's like, or you kind of spoke to it as well. It's like just going into that state, or going into the holidays with some anxiety or with some stress or these expectations, you know, really it shifts the mood. You know, I cue off my mother in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, I'm working from a place of trying to help her, to take some of the workload off of her. So she's not so anxious, she's not so stressed, and we can all kind of enjoy ourselves. So it could be, it's definitely a stressful time when I go back to Pennsylvania. You know, my parents' house is nice. I mean, if it was bigger, it would probably be more comfortable with the whole family coming back around. Now we have, like, you know, I have grandkids and stuff like that. So it definitely, I feel like what would help our family and kind of around the holidays is just really supporting one another and trying to drop those expectations and that we have for the holidays, and just really being with one another. I think maybe what happens is, you know, we're kind of the media and the commercials are just like holidays, joy. It's like, and if your holiday doesn't look like this, like you're having a shitty holiday, you know. So I think that's part of some of the stress, like, 'cause we're kind of live up to some like Instagram picture of what the holiday should be.
Exactly. Exactly, man.
But
We just need to watch National Lampoon's Christmas
yeah,
Vacation
exactly.
before every time we get together.
Yeah.
Like, hey, at least we're not that.
Yeah, we're not that bad as a family.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually last year, because it's my birthday, that it just seems to be glossed over. I went away for the holidays. So I wasn't even around for Christmas. I was in Guatemala for like 8 days.
Oh, wow.
So that was actually a really nice Christmas. Like, to go
Yeah.
to have like a birthday celebrate it and get up whenever I want on Christmas and have Christmas. So
Yeah.
that was kind of exciting. But yeah, I mean, that's the holidays around my family, and it's like, again, it's my birthday too, so it's always a very interesting time. But should we go into these questions, or like
Yeah,
some of
I
these
mean,
common
well,
holiday
I mean,
stressors, or what else should we talk? Yeah, talk to me.
well, yeah, we've talked, thus far we've talked about Christmas, but
Oh yeah,
next week is Thanksgiving, right?
yeah,
Next
yeah,
week, and a lot of the same stressors come around that. Hey, getting family together, we expect this meal to be perfect and everybody to be super
yeah,
happy around the meal,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's those expectations, and like you mentioned, social media, seeing everybody else's perfect picture and thinking that we need to live up to that. What the media is actually putting out on TV commercials, or hey, it's supposed to be a perfect time for Thanksgiving. Again, we've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, you've got Hanukkah if you got that coming up in your life. You've got the New Year. Hey, we want to put 2020 behind us, and we've got these great expectations of 2021. Hey, it's going to be so much better. Whatever year it is, you're always expecting the next year to be better.
yeah,
That's the epitome of not being mindful. Like thinking about the future and what it should be instead of being focused on the present and what it is.
exactly.
And I think that's where we really need to focus our energy, focus our thoughts, focus our love,
Yeah,
is in the here and now, and not think about what this gathering, this family gathering is going to be like, but rather think about what it is like,
yeah,
and just embrace that. Don't judge it one way or the other, just embrace it. But yeah, I know there's a whole other list here that we're going to go through. So let's jump into that. I think we've covered expectations, and that's setting yourself up for failure. Don't expect anything.
One thing I'll say before we jump into this, John, is one person, when you could be the person in your family, anyone's listening, is that can really shift that energy. So instead of rising to the stress and anxiety and all those negative stressors in the holidays, what if you were more calm, connected, more joyful, or just smiling, or just being contributing or trying to contribute to the joy of that environment and the family itself? And just one person can really make a big difference. And it's almost like a joyful tuning fork. Like, I start tuning with joy, someone else is going to tune with joy, someone else is going to tune with joy, and we can literally shift, like in a very short amount of time. I've seen it happen. That everything could just, all the bullshit can go away, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a new place. So let's jump into these. So these are from something that I was researching a while ago about. I did a workshop on holiday and holiday stress and joy for the holidays. And this is from Psychology Today. And here's a list of 8 of the most common holiday stressors. If you're out there, raise your hand because we can see you. And we actually have a question here, John. We'll get over to that question in a moment, which I love. So here we go. So we got number 1. Where did my cursor go? We're scrolling. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. So number 1 is I can't get it all done. Right. That's number 1. I can't get it all done. So this is about the shopping, the cooking, the accommodating of the family, and trying to squeeze it all into. I think it's part of this, John, for me, when I hear this, is trying to fit into that picture perfect commercial holiday experience.
Yeah, and on that list, at the very bottom of that list is something about having too many obligations,
too many parties or something, right?
Having too many parties, right? And I think you wrote off to the side first world problems, right?
Exactly.
That's a tough one to have, but I think that is it is a stressor. Like, and those go hand in hand. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
you may have a work party, a church party, a neighborhood party, a friend party, your own party, and then family parties, and it does add up. And you, again, going back to the expectations, you have all those expectations, and then that takes your time, and that goes into the, hey, I can't get it all done because as we're leading into the holidays, next week with Thanksgiving week, it's a 3-day week. One of those days is mostly like driving. Like I think Wednesday before Thanksgiving is the most highly traveled day in America.
Yeah, maybe not this year, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not this year. Hopefully not this year anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Yeah, so there's that travel stressors as well. But yeah, you try to squeeze 10 pounds of stuff into a 2-pound sock, and that everybody wants to do so many things during a time when there's way less time to do it. So the parties, the obligations, and then everything that you want to get done, the shopping list. You want to get, like, if you're having a party at your own house, you want to get your house ready for it. That again, everything seems to be pointing back at these expectations.
Yeah, and
yeah. So you want your house to be perfect, right? If you have a party, you want your house to be perfect, and yeah.
Well, I think I think what's hitting me, John, is I think what's really important, and to be mindful of this question throughout the holidays, regardless whatever it is, is really, what is the purpose of the holidays? It's to bring people together, celebrate life together, rekindle relationships in our family, by being in community with one another, and in the act of giving, there's many ways to give, instead of it being like the fucking best technical or tech, gift of the year. It's just being with someone else, helping somebody else in another way. And I just like that whole, like, being mindful of what are the holidays all about.
Right.
And if you come back to that core question and have some really good key answers, what that is, when stress starts to come and take your entire railroad or experience off the tracks, it's like you can ground back to what's really important. So that's something. Well, yeah, great. And then
that ties into the next one, man. Like the
I can't afford this.
I can't afford this. Yeah. And being a dad now, for almost 4 years, I want to spoil the crap out of my kids, right? Hey, it's Christmas. I see an ad for this toy. I see an ad for that toy or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
But one, I can't afford all those toys.
Yeah.
And then two, what if I do buy all that, what kind of lesson am I teaching my kids? Is that
Oh, I lost you for a second, John. You there? Someone calling? Yeah, it's okay.
Got to stop my notifications.
Yeah.
But what kind of lesson am I teaching my kids? That's what the holidays are about, is just getting tons of stuff.
Exactly.
And again, my kids are so young that most of the time my almost 4-year-old girl, she's more wrapped up in the boxes that that stuff comes in. And the 1-year-old, definitely, man, he's like crawling around in boxes and the paper and just playing all that, and the toys are sitting off to the side.
Exactly.
But then as we talk about gifts for older people, one, the biggest gift that you can give anybody is your time. That's
thank you for saying
one.
That.
Yeah, that's the one commodity that's completely irreplaceable. I mean, even at the end of this show, we're going to have 45 minutes or an hour less than we did at the beginning. It's burning up all the time. And if you can give your friend, your family, your colleagues, if you can give them a little bit of time, then that's probably the greatest gift. Now, I know that sounds completely opposite of what we were just talking about. Hey, you have only so much time in your holiday season, and you can't do it all. Well, you just need to prioritize and figuring out who it is that is most important in your life and who it is that you want to spend the time with. So, and that time, make it quality time. Don't be, on your phone. Checking what everybody else is doing during their holidays, because you look at social media and you get this false impression that everybody else is having an amazing holiday. Right. And then that goes, again, back to the expectations. So the time that you spend with those you love, make sure it's quality time, and don't compare that time to what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Or trying to match that moment you're having with the expectations of what it should be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like being in the moment and being with who you're with, and whatever that moment is. And yeah, that's great. Yeah. And well, affording this, it's like, but is it really about the gifts?
Yeah.
A lot of times is it about, again, that quality time and giving your time to somebody else? Like, that's, or even like sometimes you can't afford it, make your own gifts. Like my
Yeah.
niece, she's 22, she's working, limited budget right now. She has been making her own gifts for the family over the last several years.
Nice.
I got a nice like rubbing salt and sugar scrub the one year, which I used in the bathhouse, which is kind of fun. I got some candles that she made, and I just really appreciate that, because anytime like she took her time, instead of just going to the store, I'll just pick something off the shelf. She took her time, put her time together, made this just for me, and it
Yeah.
just feels really special to be able to. So if you can't afford a gift, make something.
Yeah. And the old saying, man, it's truly the thought that counts, right?
Yeah,
The thought that counts.
it really does.
And you need to take that in perspective as somebody receiving the gift too. You may not receive something that's worth a ton of money, but it was worth a ton of time on that person who gave it to you. They spent hours making it, or even minutes making it. But the thought that went into putting it together, that's really what you have to consider as the gift.
Yeah.
But the other piece about not being able to afford things, it's not just necessarily the gifts, but it's the time off, right? Hey, I can't afford the time off. I can't afford the travel. And that's a stressor. And I'm not going to say that, hey, you can necessarily change that, but try to think about what it is you're getting in return. If you are traveling to see family, that again, on your end, you're receiving time with your family.
Yeah.
And again, it sounds like we're talking out of both sides of our mouths, rather, because we're talking about how stressful time with family can be. But if you really take a step back, don't have any expectations about that time with your family, then it can truly be a lot more special than if you go into it with these really picture perfect and not reasonable expectations. Then that can make the time a lot more stressful. If you go into it without those expectations, you can make that time a lot more enjoyable. And that's where the cost is worth it. And you can recharge your mind, recharge your body, and come back to work or come back to wherever it is that you are that much better, and end up reaping the benefits of it in the long run. Take that time off. That's another piece is, hey, take that time off to reset your mind, reset your body. And that's where I think the holidays can actually help in being mindful and and taking some time to meditate. So
reconnecting to something that's meaningful, I think. There's a lot of stuff that isn't meaningful in our lives sometimes, and I think that's what the holidays, it's like it's coming back to that core question we talked about. What does really the holidays mean for you? And then also what I just said about oh my God, my brain just fried. What I just said about taking
holidays
the time.
taking time.
Making it meaningful, and just resetting, recharging, slowing down. Like, this is not supposed to be like going to another work function. It's like, it's family. So we talked about the next one we have here is holiday expectations, which we've been touching on many, many times. I'll jump to the other one, which is I can't stand my family. And we've hit it on a bunch of different ways. It's like I like to think about, as I've become more mindful, as I become more mature, as I begin to analyze my relationships and how I'm showing up through a mindfulness lens and filter. I begin to look at my relationships. Talked about my mom earlier. That's why I jump in the kitchen and help her with whatever she needs so she can relax and de-stress. The way I communicate and the way I'm with my dad and my brothers and other family members, and also being aware of family members that could be trouble. We have these family members that love to just fucking stick the screws to you or agitate you, or that whole, misery loves company sometimes, and mindfully, it's your choice whether you want to go down and meet them at their energetic vibration of stress and anxiety and whatever's going on with them, or taking a step back, stand for joy and contribution and a gift of joy to everyone around you. So family can definitely be tough, but I've been becoming more aware of my relationship to them and their relationship to me, and then how can I be an agent of joy and change and happiness, or at least just peace.
Right.
Right.
And I think, this particular bullet point on the list goes hand in hand with the next one, in that, hey, I can't stand my family, and then the other side of the spectrum is I'm lonely. So if you're, I guess if you can't stand your family and you're stressed out about it, think about those who are lonely and don't have family and friends to be around, and think about what a gift your family is to you. And then if you're on the other side of the spectrum, and you're stressed because you're lonely, or you're upset because you're lonely, think about those who are stressed because they have family.
Yeah.
So I guess it really depends on perspective.
Very much.
Like you talked about your time in Guatemala, right?
Oh.
Hey, that was you weren't around family. I doubt you were lonely. I'm sure you had somebody.
Well, I was with my girlfriend, and I knew where I was going. I knew people that were down there. I'd been there before. It was like amazing. It was so nice. It was so nice not to be home, I gotta say, for the holidays. Maybe that's a hint to somebody else. Get out and go somewhere else and change your holiday, flip it on its head.
Maybe for those who are lonely, maybe get out and go to a different location and appreciate that location, change perspective, change setting. I think that may help with that stress. And that one's going to be a big one this season with COVID being what it is. Isolation. We're encouraged not to get together for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for New Year's. I wonder what Times Square is going to look like on December 31st.
They won't hold the event. I bet they won't hold it. There's no. I don't think they responsibly should. Or they won't. There's no way that the mayor.
Not.
No, me neither. But also, not. I think. Well, you brought up. I was going to say, So you brought up the one thing, Pete. We're talking about loneliness, and COVID is definitely changing. That dynamic of being with family, traveling. But I also say, even if you are isolated, still loneliness is a choice. It's a box often that you put yourself into, right? And you can make different choices of, okay, I can't travel back to Pennsylvania because of the circumstances of COVID in New York, right? So fine. What else do I do? Like I can connect with people through like Zoom or something like that. Get on the phone, talk to somebody. Like there's ways that if you can socially distance with someone else in your neighborhood or in your building or something like that. It just share time. I think it's like in our DNA, these this community aspects of holidays and Thanksgiving. It's like there's something about us being together as human beings that is required for our health and our sanity. And so why not make the most of that time instead of making about like what you don't have or what you didn't get? I think that's another thing. Like when I was a kid, I remember opening gifts, or I'd have two brothers and they'd have a pile of 7 fucking boxes of gifts, or my other brother 10, and I'd have 3. And I'd be like, what? They're like, well, it was your birthday, another, okay. But, and it was like, so that, again, it's like, it's being joyful for what you have and who you're with. And it sounds a lot easier than actually doing it sometimes. But, that's, it's just being with people, being with others, connecting in a meaningful way. And if you're lonely, how can you connect in a meaningful way with someone?
Be intentional about it.
Being intentional. Very intentional.
And again, that's being mindful. Hey, you realize that you're lonely. You start to realize that you're sad, getting depressed about it. Okay, so what action can you take to change that?
Exactly.
Because if you don't let anybody else know that you're feeling down and out, then they may not reach out to you. But if you make the action, take the action to meet with your neighbors, your friends, your family, even if it is virtually via Zoom or whatever, then you've got to take a little bit of that ownership on for yourself. And I think that's I see you sitting in the on the deck there, and it's kind of woody and kind of gray. I think maybe gray behind you. It's hard to tell. Yeah, but in the winter, actually, it's beautiful. Wow, it's
Nice
okay.
out here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
it's
it's
nice.
like 40, 50 degrees right now.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Anyway, yeah.
yeah. Well, what I did find living on the East Coast in Virginia, nothing against Virginia, but in the winter, it's gray and it's wet and it's cold. So you kind of start to get that seasonal affective disorder
Yeah, very
right
true.
around the same time as the holidays. So as you're starting to get sad, you have these holidays coming up, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's the holidays. We should be happy." And you're like, "Man, whatever. It sucks."
Did you see the weather
Yeah,
outside?
yeah,
Like, you know how
uh,
cold it
yeah,
is?
yeah. And then you
Yeah.
start beating yourself up because everybody else is happy. And it kind of, again, we're going to continue to do this probably through the rest of the show as we come back to these expectations of what the holidays should be and what we should be feeling, and we're
Yeah.
feeling something completely other
Yeah.
opposite than that, and we start to beat ourselves up about it.
Yep.
Shoot, my wife, she every year in Virginia on October 31st, she was like, "You know what this is?" I was like, "Yeah, it's Halloween." She's like, "It's the night before I put our Christmas lights up." So she would always on November 1st,
Wow.
she would put our Christmas lights up, and I was like, "That's a little early." And she's like, "Well, it's what helps me to keep from getting depressed, because she has something to do." So I was like, "Okay, hey, if that's what it takes." And we have our Christmas lights up now. We've had them up for a while out here in Colorado even. But yeah, it's you could find something to do to take your mind off of getting down
Great
down
point.
and out. Yeah,
Great point. Well, you brought up something really important that really is at the core of mindfulness and the core of any, whether it's holidays, whether it's at work, is taking ownership. So
yeah,
instead of letting the environment and the ever-changing circumstance of the world around you dictate how you're feeling, and you're always going to be whimsical, like, oh my God, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, the traffic upset me, I don't like the cold, or this smells, or this or that, and you're always like, and just like going back and forth, or like a big dramatic, like just uh, uh, taking ownership and be like, wait, well, I am a conduit of change. I have an effect in my life. But it's also what's in my head, and how
yeah,
am I standing in this moment? Am I calm? Am I relaxed? Am I present to this moment? Or am I wrapped up in my expectations, or what happened 5 minutes ago, an hour ago, 10 years ago with your family? Oh, he said to me this 10 years ago, and fuck him. It's like taking ownership for your experience. And this is, and I think the holidays is a great opportunity to understand what ownership can do for you, because instead of it being a horrible, stressful holiday, make it the best it possibly can be.
yeah, yeah.
So thank you for saying that ownership piece,
I
because
like
it's
that,
just,
man.
that's the core of mindfulness. It's really the core. Um,
Well, what about
going on, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, before we go down the rest of the list, what's the question we got?
Oh yes, good idea. Here we go. Hopefully, okay. By family, I mean extended family. Okay, wait. Dealing with cancellations of family Thanksgiving is super stressful. Oh, cancellation. That is
Yeah,
great. You do all this work, you set everything up, and then people are canceling. That's I'd get really pissed off too, to be to be to be completely honest. And yeah, but being mindful that I'm pissed off. But it's like I that's a great. How do you pivot? Or
yeah,
when somebody cancels, and not get pulled down by that disappointment, because I know
right.
it's going to be there. And not like lashing out, and like sending dirty messages or something like that. What do you think, John? Like you have a lot of
Yeah,
family.
I do, and I think that's a great one. Having parties, having dinners, and you've put a lot of time, money, and effort into putting something together. Now, half your guests cancel because X, Y, or Z. Now you have all this extra stuff that you have to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be stressful, but I think obviously, Men Talking Mindfulness, the mindfulness has to come into play here. And you have to. We've talked about having empathy and compassion, right?
Yeah. There
That's
you
that.
go.
I mean, we did a whole episode on that.
Right.
Well, that empathy that comes from practicing mindfulness, you can put yourself in that other person's shoes and like, okay, they most likely didn't want to cancel. They had
Right.
something come up in their lives that
Mm.
caused them to not be able to be there, or they really wanted to be there and they've overcommitted because they want to please everyone. So they going back to the having too many obligations. they've said yes to so many things because they want to please everyone, and now they can't. So
right. Yeah,
you really
true.
just have to put yourself in that other person's shoes, and then realize from your perspective, if that's the worst thing that happens, is that somebody cancels, their ability to come to your gathering, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, New Year's, whatever the case may be. If that's the worst thing that happens over the holidays, then things aren't too bad. Things are not too bad.
I mean, again, kind of first world problems in some ways.
Exactly.
John.
Exactly.
People don't have food, like,
yeah.
Wait, we got this. I think this might be, okay, dealing with, I can't even read this. It's so tiny. Oh, wait, there we go. What I mean is when I canceled on my in-laws because they're 80s and I don't want to possibly respond. I can't read all this. Can you get, I'm losing some of that.
Yeah, I see the forgetting the ... and I see it's from Micah.
Yeah,
but I think I can get the gist of it. What you're talking about there is that you're the one canceling and how stressful that could be.
Yeah.
So, taking that into account for sure. Like I mentioned before, you probably don't want to cancel, but you just have to explain your life circumstances back from coming to their traditional holiday events, is what Micah says. Yeah, I think you got to explain your own circumstances, and hopefully they understand that. As far as their traditional holiday events, I mean, this year, all traditions thrown out the window.
Yeah, very true.
And I can't get past the picture here, Will.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying here. This fucked us like a bunch of episodes ago.
There you go.
I apologize. I'm trying, John. I'm trying, bro. But I think what I'll also add to this as well is, like, if you have to cancel, what is something else you can do? What's another way that you connect? Can you give them a call? Can you do a Zoom? Could you send flowers or something like that? Just to be like, hey, I'm sorry for whatever reason, but you're still in my heart and I still care about you. And maybe you have another alternative time where it's like, look, when things clear up with whatever's going on in your life, and that could be COVID, I'll come and visit or something like that.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative?
A way to make it up. Yeah.
What's an alternative?
That's a great one.
But I'm sorry to not be able to lose this question box, John. But we're getting it's almost quarter after.
Yeah.
The other one last thing. I mean, we won't even elaborate on this, but the crowds. The crowds around the holidays. It might not be that crowded this holiday season. Hope you're avoiding crowds this holiday season, or if you are in a crowd situation, wear a mask. Wear a freaking mask. And another one, if you're too exhausted, this is a time to sleep and reflect and get back to yourself. I'm still trying to cancel this, John.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. I think it goes away after some time.
Yeah.
So,
but let's anything else before we get into our closing meditation, John? Anything you want to bring up?
No, I think we've covered some good things here, and hopefully the audience it resonates with them, and they can put some of the tools that we've discussed to work, so that they can have a much more joyful and mindful present holiday season. Again, whether you're celebrating Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, whatever it is, just a happy holiday season, and then come out of it recharged for a new year, 2021.
I will say one thing, John. This is a time of family, but it's also could be a great opportunity for self-care. Getting more sleep, eating healthier, right? And I think if you really take time for self-care and getting the proper sleep, that's going to help de-stress you a little bit. So when these holiday stressors begin to upload into the circumstance that you find yourself in, you might be able to respond, not react, respond mindfully and differently. And again, if you can get back or just even take a moment, it's like, what is that core question? What are the holidays? What are they here for me? Like, what are they? Why do I love the holidays? And if you come back to that core question and really clearly define what that is, and very simple, like values of my holiday, it can really make a big difference of how you're showing up in the holidays.
100%, man. Great way to close there.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, that said, man, we'll go into our closing meditation.
Take it home, bro.
All right, so go ahead and get comfortable. Again, whatever that looks like for you. I like sitting in a chair, my hands on my lap, palms up, and I personally like closing my eyes or softening my gaze, and just bring your awareness to your breath. Nice, easy breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And really focusing on the physical sensation there. One more deep breath in through the nose, focusing on the air passing your nostrils. Hold it for a second. And nice and easy, let it out slowly, focusing on the air passing your lips as you breathe out. And now, just bring your awareness and check in to your surroundings and your personal emotions that you may be experiencing. Talked about that internal selfie. Take that internal selfie and notice what it is you're feeling about the holiday season. Don't try to change those emotions or those feelings or the physical sensations of your surroundings. Just notice them. And now come back to the breath. Again, focusing on the breath in as you breathe in through the nose, and the air passing your lips as you breathe out through the mouth. Now, with that internal selfie that we took earlier, now I want you to imagine a picture of what the next few weeks are going to look like. And don't imagine the perfect picture that we've seen on social media or on TV or on movies and TV, but what you actually think the next few weeks are going to look like. And what that picture, what emotions come to mind. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling sad? Again, no reason to change those emotions. Just notice them. And then come back to the breath. Notice the physical sensation as you breathe in through your nose. And again, the physical sensation as you breathe out through your mouth. And now shift your attention to someone who is very close to you, who you feel love for. Think about them. What do you wish for them for the holiday season? Do you wish them peace? Do you wish them joy, safety, health, wellness? Think about those wishes for that person that you love. And then come back to the breath. Physical sensation of the air passing your nostrils as you breathe in through your nose. Hold it for a second and focus on the breath out as you breathe out through your mouth. And now, lastly, shift your focus to yourself. What did you wish for that person that you were thinking about earlier, can you wish those same things for yourself over the holiday season? Can you wish yourself joy, peace, safety, health, wellness? Think about that and bringing those wishes to yourself over the holiday season. And then come back to the breath for one last time, focusing on the physical sensation of the air passing your nostrils as you breathe in. Hold it, let it go, and with that breath, let all your expectations of the holiday seasons go. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring some movement back into your body. Focus your gaze. Maybe open your eyes. And my hope for you is that you can continue a mindfulness and meditation practice like that through the holiday season to make your holiday season much more joyful, happier, and peaceful for you and for those around you. And that's all I've got for this season, brother.
John, awesome. Thank you for that meditation. What came to me is like flow with the holidays. Flow with it.
Yeah.
Don't fight the current. Flow with the holidays. But thank you, John. That was beautiful. I mean, I can't believe we've done 20 episodes. I'm so honored to be able to do this with you and to help other people. So thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in through all the MTMs and tuning in through their podcast and stuff. We're coming back Jan 1, and we'll talk about as we go through or as we near, like what we're going to be, our expectations for the second season. But yeah, thank you, John. Thank you. And I wish you a wonderful holiday with your family, with people that are traveling to you. And I hope you really make the most of the gift that we have of the holidays, you know?
Same for you, brother. Absolutely, 100% to you and for those who are tuning in now live or for those who watch later on IGTV or listen later on the podcast. Definitely all the well wishes for the holiday season. And please join us next season, January 1st, kicking off again, IG Live and LinkedIn Live.
Shit.
We're gonna have to tighten it up, man.
Now you're getting me nervous, John. Shit, though. You're not saying I'm doing a good job already? Oh, man. I'm just kidding.
All right,
John,
brother.
Hey,
thanks for this
again,
time,
brother.
space. It's
Absolutely.
been awesome.
Yeah,
right.
Same. Thank you for everybody out there.
Happy holidays, brother.
Yeah, happy
Peace.
holidays to you and everybody else. Peace. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining Will and John on Men Talking Mindfulness. If you enjoyed the show, please like and share it with your friends and family, and please, we would appreciate a review too. Until next time, this has been Men Talking Mindfulness. Thanks for showing up.